Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarvagurubhyo Namaha. It's a very simple way of starting anything. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha means, Gurubhyo is plural, so we say Asmat means my, Gurubhyo, plural, unto my teachers, right? Namaha, my obeisances. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha means obeisances to all my teachers. Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha means obeisances to all their teachers, Param Gurus. And Asmat Sarvagurubhyo Namaha means obeisances to all the teachers. I think we covered everybody now. We've offered obeisances to all the teachers. So, yesterday we started doing some meeting, and because nobody had any particular topics, we started with what we started doing was going over a little bit of the basics of Vedic chanting. So we had let me see, we had some discussion of Vedic chanting and how people start off the Vedic chanting in Krishna Yajurveda by starting with this text, which is Taittiriya Upanishad, Shikshavali. And so we explained a little bit about this section of it here. The first part, of course, is a Shanti part. This is a prayer to pray for peace on 3 levels, Adhyatmic, Adhibhautik, Adhidaivic, before we start anything. And normally Upanishads start with a Shantipat, they end with a Shantipat. This particular Upanishad uses this one in this case. So this is not really the first verse. This is really the invocation, we can say. Prabhupada in his Isa Upanishad, he says, Om Purnamada Purnamidam, that is the invocation. So, just let me do something here. I need to eject the disk. Okay. So, that's the invocation. We also talked about how to start any Vedic mantra with Hari Om. We talked about Omkara. We talked about the alphabet, Sanskrit alphabet, in a little bit, because in the first lesson, this is the first lesson on chanting. Shiksha means pronunciation or chanting, and the first part of it is Varna. Varna means the alphabet or letters. So we talked a little bit about Sanskrit alphabet. And I think who's on this, let me see who the participants are today. We have one other person to admit. Let's admit that person, okay. Rupa Goswami Prabhu is quite familiar with the Sanskrit alphabet. And I think most of the rest of you are also familiar with the Sanskrit alphabet somewhat. We also have, for those of you who are not used to Zoom, we have a chat facility where you can privately or publicly talk to each other. Okay. I do believe also there might be a system of raising your hand if you want to say something, but in any case, it's informal. Just unmute if you want to stop, if you want to ask a question or make a comment, that's fine. So, I'm not going to go over everything that we went over yesterday, but yep, who's okay? I'm going to mute you. Who's that? Arjuna? You're muted. Making sounds. Okay. If you have a question, you can unmute or a comment. Swami.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so yeah, we were talking about Vedic chanting a little bit, and we started to talk about the alphabet. If people want to talk about some other things, we can. Otherwise, we can continue on with that. We were going over another text. Let's see. We were looking at the Krishna Yoga Mandiram. Where is it? Introduction to Vedic Chanting. Where is it? Oops, failed to start. Okay. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to start again. Failed to start. Okay. Technical difficulty here. Let's look at that page. There we go. Okay, so this is a little booklet that comes out. I shared this little booklet and the audios that go with it. It's from Krishna Yoga Mandiram, which is an institution run by Deshikachar, who's the son of T. Krishnamacharya. Most famous yogi of the past century. Anyhow, so Vedic chanting made easy, and we talked about this is the first part of this part here. Shiksham yakya syamaha varnaswaraha matra balam samasantanaha ityukta shiksha dhyayaha. The adhyayaha, or the lesson, or the adhyaya also means chapter, on shiksha, on pronunciation, is thus given. So now we're starting shiksha. The 6 aspects of shiksha are varna, swara, matra. Varna, swara, matra, bala, sama, and santana. Okay, so varna means the alphabet. Swara means the pitches. In Vedic Sanskrit, there are different pitches, different tones. Matra means the number of beats or number of seconds that the vowel is held. The balam is the force of articulation, how much air you put into your pronunciation. Sama, the musical quality of the intonation, and santana means keeping it all together, basically. They call it punctuation, but we talked about punctuation also. There's only really very little punctuation in Sanskrit. We have this vertical bar, which is called a danda, at the end of each phrase, or half a verse or half a sloka. So you could think of it like a comma, and at the end of the full verse or at the end of a paragraph, you get 2 of those, called a double danda. These are just where we show we can breathe. So we have to know, when we're chanting, we have to know where to stop and breathe, just like in English or in other languages, we have a comma, we know where to stop and breathe. At the end, we have a period or full stop, and we know where to breathe. Okay, so these 6 rules of Vedic chanting: varna, swara, matra, bala, sama, and santana. Okay, so I posted this for everybody. You can read it, you can go over it. We didn't go into exactly. I think maybe, people might get bored with if we just talk about grammar here like that. So anytime you want to stop that, I'm just going to go systematically. But if you want to hop into anything else, I am prepared to talk about the beginning rituals and things like that, like Achimana, whatever it is. So, or anything, actually. I mean, just go for it if you want to talk about something. Okay, so as I was saying yesterday, there's like 51 or 52 letters in the Sanskrit alphabet. They start out with in this pamphlet by talking about the alphabet letters as they're pronounced in different parts of the mouth. Okay, so you've got guttural sounds. Guttural sounds are produced in the throat. So ka, ka, g, ka, nga, ha, and visarga. Visarga is the H with the dot under it, which we talked about a little bit yesterday. It's an echo. Echo. The word sarga means creation, and visarga means subsequent creation. So there are two, like in the Puranas, they talk about two types of creation. The Lord creates the universe, and then Brahma creates things after the Lord creates the universe. There's a subsequent creation. So visarga is an echo that occurs after a vowel, sometimes at the end of a Sanskrit word, rarely in the middle of a word. And for instance, we didn't talk about it, but who knows the proper way to pronounce visarga? And we only pronounce this echo normally at the end of when it comes before a dunda or a double dunda, when it comes before some Sanskrit punctuation. Okay, so for instance, we can take the first verse of Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Yeah, so there's a few visargas there, but we don't say Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha. Yeah, because it doesn't come before, it doesn't come in a breathing space. It doesn't come at the end of the, usually people don't do that. Unless, of course, we're breaking up the words. If we're breaking up the words and we're chanting in a different form, but normally if we chant straight through, which is called Samhita Pat, Pat means a method of chanting. There are different parts, different ways of chanting mantras. The first one is to just chant it straight through. Chant it straight through the way it's written in a book. So the next way is to break up the words, break up each word. So for instance, with the first verse of Brahma Samhita, we could chant the whole thing straight through. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Yeah. So there's a breath at the end of the second line and the fourth line, which is the half verse and the full verse, like that. So when we get this visarga, if we have a short a is pronounced in Sanskrit as a. If we have a followed by h with a dot under it, right, then we echo it. So if it comes before a punctuation mark like a dunda or a double dunda, so it's going to be, instead of a, it's going to be aha. If it's a long a, and yesterday if you go back and look at yesterday's video, we talked about the difference between lengths of vowels. Vowels are letters that can be elongated. They can be made longer. So you can have a short vowel, a long vowel, or even a very long vowel. And we count the number of instances, the number of seconds, by what we call matras. In Sanskrit, a matra is the time it takes to slap your leg, to touch your leg like this. So when people are keeping beat, hitting their leg like this, 1, 2, 3, like this. So similarly in music, let me see. I got to make sure I'm watching the chat at the same time in case anybody's saying anything. Okay, so matra. So there's a very famous statement which I quoted last time by Patanjali, who is a great commentator on Panini. Panini has set down all the 4,000 rules of Sanskrit grammar in his Astadhyayi, in sutras. Then, of course, because they're sutras, very small aphorisms called threads, another guy came along and he made a big commentary on Panini called Mahabhashya, which means the great commentary. And that was done by a grammarian called Patanjali. And Patanjali has a verse, and he says, Ekamatra bhavid hrasvo, dvimatro dirga uchyate, trimatro stupito gyeyo, vyanjana adamatrakam. He says that a short letter, a short vowel is called hrasva, or short. And it's only one beat. A long one is two, twice as long as that. That is called dirgha, or long. So a is short. A is long. And then ekamatro prabheda hrasvo, dvimatro dirgha uchite, trimatro stupito gyeyo, three or more beats length is called pluta, or extended, or prolated. Okay, we can say extended. Prolated is a sort of an old English word. Okay, so for instance, a, short. A, short, a long. A, even longer extended. As long as you have breath, keep saying ah. Okay, so these are the three. In Sanskrit also, this goes very well with the rest of Sanskrit grammar that has short, singular, dual, and plural. So we have singular, dual, and plural. So we have a singular beat, dual, two beats, and more than two. Okay, so we have to be aware of this. Normally in classical Sanskrit, we don't get more, that we don't get a vowel which is extended more than long. And in English, in the transliteration system that we use, the International Association of Sanskrit Transliteration, IAST for short, which Prabhupada and the BBT use in their transliteration system, we see a short vowel is simply the vowel by itself. A long vowel has a macron, or a line over the top of it. So when you see a by itself, it's a. When you see an a with a bar over the top, it's ah. It's a long version. How would you put in a text ah if it's more than two? The way they do that in Sanskrit is they put a number, giving you the number that you're going to say it. So if you're saying it three, if you're making it sound three times longer than the short, right? You put a 3. So you would put an A in the Sanskrit and a 3 next to it, the number 3 in the text, and that would show you. For instance, we have in the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the Bhriguvali, there is a section where Bhrigu, right, who has realized Brahman, he's realized the Supreme, he becomes very happy and he sings a little song. When he sings that song, he extends some of the vowels. So he says ha o ha o ha o. Okay, this is called the Song of Bhrigu in the third part of the Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhriguvali. And for those of you who know Taittiriya Upanishad, you'll know this. Sometimes people even use it as a substitute for a Samaveda mantra. It's actually not Samaveda mantra, but some people, because of the way it sounds like Samaveda, they chant it as a Samaveda mantra. Also in the Upanishad it says, Etat samagaya naste, which means he chanted the sama. He chanted the song. Okay, so anyway, getting back to that. So we have 3 lengths of vowels. To get back to visarga, so if we have that echo, if we echo a short vowel, the echo is short. So aha, ihi, uhu, like that. If we echo a long vowel, the long vowel has to be long. The echo has to be long. So aha, ihi, uhu is long, not aha. Not instead. You can't say if you have a long vowel preceding a visarga, right? Like an A with a macron, with an H and a dot after it. I hope you're getting used to the terminology and you understand what visarga and a long is. Okay, so if you have a long A with a visarga after it, right, at coming before a dunder or a double dunder, you want to produce that echo, but you can't say aha. It has to be aha, E, he, oo, hoo, right? All right, now, there are also other long vowels. Long vowels. The diphthongs, I don't know what you call it in other languages, but in English we call them diphthongs. They're mixtures of vowels. And we talked about this yesterday. So a and u together form o, and also form ow. A and I together form a and form I. So this a, I, o, ow are mixtures of two vowels put together. And because they're mixtures of vowels, they cannot be short. They cannot be short. They're long. So what happens when you get a mixture of vowels? Because A, the letter E in English, followed by a visarga, right? That E is made up of a little bit of A and a little bit of I. So what gets echoed? The last part gets echoed. The last part gets echoed. So if we have E and H with a dot under it, and it comes, and we have to echo it because it comes before a breath, right? We have to say ehi. We can't say ehe. It's not right. We only echo the last part of the diphthong. This is a little bit complicated. Most people don't go into this. So ehi, or if we have the diphthong ai, the diphthong ai, which is I, ai, I-he, ehi, I-he. I'm going to correct myself here. Maybe ehe might be correct. Ehe might be correct, but when it becomes longer, I-he, I-he. Okay, so an oho, correct. Okay, I'm going to correct myself there. Okay, that was not right. Ehe and I-he, not perfect. Okay, ehe, I-he, oho, au-hu. Okay, so that's how you pronounce visarga with the different diphthongs. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's visarga. Now getting back to the discussion here. Okay, so there are different consonants that are pronounced in different parts of the mouth. I could go into which part of the mouth each consonant is pronounced in, so that you know the difference between the different letters, because as you might have seen in Sanskrit, we have a few different N's and M's, few different nasals. We have a few different T's and D's, right? And they're different. They are different sounds. And sometimes people with alphabets that are less than 52 letters long don't know how to pronounce them correctly. And if we understand in which place in the mouth they're coming from, we can understand how to pronounce them correctly. So if this is too boring, we can go to something else. We can talk about something more practical. Or if you want, I can explain to you the places in the mouth and how the tongue is situated for pronouncing each letter. So do we have any preference? Say up, anybody say. Am I boring you yet? Should be. I should be boring you soon. So you want to hear about I can edit this out. I'll edit it all out. Anybody have a preference? Let me look at the chat. Somebody said something in the chat. Not bored. Okay. Amazing. I'm a little bit bored myself, but you're not. Okay. So, all right. So let's go. Let's go. First of all, okay, so we're going to go back to this part here. If we see the gutturals are produced in the throat. Okay, so here are the different letters that are produced in the throat. Does everybody know, first of all, before we start, does everybody know the Sanskrit alphabet? Who here could if unmute themselves and tell me the Sanskrit alphabet, the whole alphabet, chant it all the way through. Is there anybody who could do that?
Yes, I can probably say.
Who are we talking?
This is Arjun. This is Arjun.
Arjuna, you have no video, huh?
I do have, because I'm using a phone.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, okay, I understand. You're not wearing any pants, so you're not.
No,
I understand.
no. Let me just get. Let me see if the video comes in. Okay,
There you are. There you are.
You can see me, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, you have some background in Sanskrit, yeah?
Yes, I have. I studied a little bit of Harinamamrita background.
Harinamamrita Vyakaranam.
Yes, by Jiva Goswami.
Yes.
So
how does it start?
You know,
Krishnam upasidamasya swajamiva namal balim tanavai tvaritam vitaredeshu tat sahityari chamudam ahata jalpita jadidam Krishna sabdanusasana stomam Harinam Amrita Vyakaranam. I studied it about 30 years ago.
Okay, yeah, so you know, the first sloka starts with Narayana Dudhuto Yamorna Kramaha.
That's the first sutra. The first sutra. I was chanting the Mangala Charanam. Okay.
Yes. So first sutra,
nice.
and then you know.
Who did you study that with?
Under Satyanarayan.
Oh, nice.
Because I went to Vrindavan Gurukula.
Oh, good.
So he was my Sanskrit teacher, and then there's another devotee called Yadudas. Unfortunately, he left his body. He was from Peru.
Okay.
So he also taught.
Okay.
But that was again long time ago, probably 25 years ago.
Okay.
In Vrindavan.
Good.
And so yeah, so I think we'll start with, you know, a, e, u, re, a, I, o, aha, and then obviously.
Okay. So why don't we stop right there? When we pronounce, when we're beginning to learn, if we want to try to learn to pronounce correctly, and I'm not saying that I'm an expert or that my pronunciation is always going to be correct, because I'm not a native Sanskrit speaker. Okay. But if we want to do that, what we should try to do is we should try to emphasize the difference between the letters. So make it very pronounced. So for instance, the vowels that you just chanted, the vowels.
Yeah.
I, u, re, re. Some people say there's only one of those, but anyhow.
Yeah.
A, I, O, ow. And I mentioned yesterday in the class that there is no short e or o. In English and in Hindi, in some languages there are e and o, but there's no short e or o. There's only the long one. A, I, O, ow. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. So you got to that, then ka.
And then ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Okay, stop right there for a second.
Yeah.
So when we start with the consonants, the first one, right? The first one is unaspirated. The second one is aspirated. That means if you want to pronounce them correctly, try to pronounce with more breath the second one. Ka, ka, ga, ga. Right? Like we're pronouncing the first one, like we're almost breathing in, and the second one, like we're breathing out more. Like that. Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga. And the N is like the NG in king. Nga.
Nga.
Nasal. Yeah. Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga. Yeah? So then we go to okay, so then those are the gutturals. They're all guttural. They're all pronounced in the throat, also with a little bit of the nose. Okay, so ka ka ga ga nga, and then what's the next line?
Cha cha, ja ja, cha cha ja ja ya.
Nya, nya.
Yeah.
Yeah, nya. Yeah, nya. Okay, the next set. Let's look at the share here. the next set are called palatals. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, right? So cha, what is a palatal? We know the gutturals, the first set are being of consonants are pronounced in the throat. The second set are pronounced on the palate. So the air that's coming out of our mouth that's making the sound is being bounced off the palate, which is the top part of the roof of your mouth. So the way it gets bounced off is if the tongue is flat. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. And the flat tongue bumps up against the top of the roof of the mouth, cha, and comes away. Because in Sanskrit, a consonant is called a sparsha. It means touched. Sparsha means touched. So when the tongue touches a place and comes back and lets the air out quickly, that produces a consonant. So when the tongue is flat, we produce the palatals with flat tongue. The flat tongue goes up and touches the top of the mouth, opens up and lets that air out quickly. That makes those palatals. Cha, 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 ja, ja, nya. Yeah? Okay? So then we go to the next one. The next one's called retroflex or murdanya, cerebral. Can be called cerebral. Yeah. You know how to pronounce those?
Ta, ta, da, da, and this is na or na.
Yeah, good, very good. Like RN, like
or Krishna.
like the N in Krishna or the N in Ganesha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now after that we have the dentals, and the dentals are produced on the teeth. Now, in many languages that we use our tongue and we touch the back of the teeth, like the back top of the teeth, where the top of the mouth reaches the teeth. That is called the avelar ridge, okay? And so the tongue usually in English, or I'm not sure in other languages, shoots out and touches that to make the sound ta, ta, and da. But in the case of in India, in Sanskrit, we have two places it touches. One place is it touches further back than that, with the tip of the tongue almost straight up, touching the top of the palate. That is the cerebrals or the retroflex place. And the other place is the dentals, which it's actually touching the tip of the teeth. So the difference between the cerebrals and the dentals is that the cerebrals, your tongue's going to be folded back and the tip is touching the top of the palate. So it's cerebral. It's touching. It's shooting up towards your head, your brain, right? Somebody needs to be. Oops, sorry. Somebody needs to mute. I'm going to mute somebody here. Okay, I'm going to mute that. Okay. All right. So the cerebral. Yeah, if you want to speak, you can unmute. Otherwise, if I hear noise, I'm going to mute you. All right. The tongue, when you pronounce cerebrals, is folded back a little bit, and the tip of the tongue touches the top of the mouth and pulls back, and the air coming out creates that consonant. So we have try. Let me show you. I'm gonna try to make it sound very, very distinct from the other ones so that you can hear it. Ta, ta, da, da, na. Ta, ta, da, da, na. The tongue is folded back. Whereas with the dentals, the tongue is touching the tip of the teeth, not the back of the teeth, but the tip. Ta, ta, da, da, na. Okay? Now, normally what we do is we pronounce it in between. Our tongue touches the back top of the teeth, the avelar ridge. So we normally in English or in other languages, we say ta, ta, da, da, na, and it's about halfway in between. When Indians hear that, when native speakers who use this alphabet hear that, they think that we're saying cerebrals. So we have to try to compensate for our lack of, our tongue is not trained in that way, to make it distinct, the cerebrals, and distinct the dentals. So we should try to make a distinct sound. So cerebrals again, ta, ta, da, da, na, 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 like RN, like say RN, na. And then dentals, ta, ta, da, da, na. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go onto the labials. Labials. I think we lost. Is Arjuna there? I'm unmuting him. Trying to unmute him.
Yeah, I'm here.
Ah, good. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So the labials. Can you chant the labials? Labials means lips. These ones.
Pa, fa, ba, bha, ma.
Say it again.
Pa, pa, ba, bha, ma.
Okay. Once again, we're going to try and make each letter sound different than the other letters. So I'm going to overemphasize. I'm going to say, and these are with the lips. We're producing the sound with the lips and the air coming out from the lips. We're using the lips to close and open to make that sound. Pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Yeah? Can you hear the difference in the sounds? So the first, and in each case, all these 25 that we have, ka, ka, ga, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ta, ta, da, da, ra, ta, ta, da, da, na, pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. In each case, it's a separate, different sound. And in each case, each of those 5, the first one is a hard sound, right? Which is unaspirated. It has less air, right? In each case, right? In each case. So, ka, cha, ta, ta, and pa, right? The second one, if we made a column, right? The second one in each of the 5, in each of those groups, the second one is the same as the first one. It's a hard sound, but it has got more air. So it would be ka, cha, ja. I'm sorry, excuse me, not ja. Ka, cha, ka, ta, and pa, right? So it has more air, right? Then the next two are soft sounds, also with less air and more air. So soft with less air, we have ga, ja, ga, ja, da, ga, da, and ba. Yeah? And then we have the soft sound with more air, right? Soft sound with more air would be, starting with the gutturals, ga, then ja, right? Then da, right? Then da, then ba. Yeah? So they're all similar. Okay, then at the end we have 5. Here we have, okay, 5 nasals. Whoops, 5 nasals. So we have this. So we have the guttural nasal, right? Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga, like the ng in king. King, nga, nga. That is like jnana, like knowledge, like the word knowledge, jnana, right? The next one we have is it jnana? No, sorry, not jnana. Like Ganga, or Sangha, Ganga, nga. So nga. Then we have the next one, palatal, nya. So first one is like ng, nga. Second one is like ny, nya. Like in Spanish, mañana, right? Okay, nya, right? Third one, right? The cerebral or the retroflex, right? Murdanya we call it in Sanskrit, is ra, like in Krishna or Ganesha. Krishna, Ganesha, right? Ganesha, Ganesha, right? And then the dental is na on the teeth, na. So a regular sort of na, like we normally say. And then the last one, the labial, only using the lips, ma, ma. Now there are a couple more nasal sounds where we just use the nose. When we have an M with a dot under it or a dot over it, that is called an anuswara. Anuswara is pronounced in the same way normally as the letter that comes next to it, right? So for instance, we have, if we have that word Ganga, sometimes people write G-A-M with a dot, G-A. Because in Sanskrit script, it's easy sometimes to just put a dot rather than write the whole letter. So instead of writing these other N's, sometimes people just put a dot, and the dot means the M with a dot. That's what it means, Anuswara. So Anuswara is a pure nasal sound. It means nga. Say North India tends to be pronounced nga, and in South India, like Narasingha. Narasingha. We're getting Narasingha's appearance day is coming. Narasingha. So some people say Singha. In South India, they tend to pronounce it more like an M. They'll say Narasimha. Narasimha. Right? So actually, the M with a dot, either above or below, it's the same. Right? When it's followed by an H, the H is what? The H is guttural. The H sound is guttural. Let's see here. H, ha, is part of the guttural. In Panini gives small sutras to remember where all these places in the mouth are. He says, for instance, Aku ha visajaniyam kanta. Kanta means the throat, means guttural. So means and means all those different types of Yes, yesterday in the lecture I explained that there are actually in Sanskrit there's actually many different types of because we have the short the longer and the even longer So there's three types. There's a nasalized and unnasalized right? Then there's different tones. In Vedic Sanskrit, there's different tones. In classical Sanskrit is pronounced what we call ekashruti. Ekashruti means only one tone. So even though you might chant a sloka from Bhagavad Gita in a musical way, there's really only one tone. It doesn't have specific tones like Vedic Sanskrit, which we discussed in the last lesson. Okay, so now we have gone through up until the end of the consonants, and now we have after the consonants. Let's see. After the consonants, we have some other letters. We have what we call semivowels, right? So again, Sanskrit alphabet, we start off I, U, ri, A, I, O, ow, right? Normally after that, people say the Anushwara, or ang, right? And then the Visarga, aha. Then they start on the consonants. Ka, ka, ga, nga. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Ta, ta, da, da, ra. Ta, ta, da, da, na. Pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Like that. Then we get the semivowels. Semivowels are like vowels, but they're not vowels. They're consonants, but they're almost vowels, and they come from vowels. So from U we get V, from Re we get R, from Re we get L, right? From I we get Y, right? So sometimes, for instance, sometimes we see somebody write Swami with an I or Swami with a Y, and it's the same pronunciation. but this I and Y are two different letters. I is a vowel, Y is a consonant, but that type of consonant that it is, it's a semi-vowel. So it's coming from a vowel, it's created from a vowel. It's a consonant that came from a vowel. Okay, so here are the semi-vowels. The semi-vowels in order in the alphabet are ya, ra, la, va. And va is interesting because va, Panini says vakarasya dantostam, that it's pronounced on the teeth and on the lips, both. Va. So for instance, it can be pronounced in two different ways. Va and wa. So don't think that there's no wa in Sanskrit. There's a wa in Sanskrit. So when sometimes we hear people in India, they'll say, they'll pronounce va in different ways than we do in other languages. But these two ways, va and wa. So we'll talk about how that, when they're pronounced as va and when it's pronounced as wa, and we'll talk about that another time. But anyhow, so then that's the semi-vowels, and then we come to what we call sibilants, which are S sounds. There are different S sounds, right? So these semi-vowels came from the vowels. So the semi-vowels, the vowels, the places they came from, the vowels that they came from, are pronounced in a part of the mouth, and the semi-vowels are pronounced in the same part, right? So when Panini says, when he says, here are the gutturals, he says, aku ha visajuninam kantale, a, kakagaganga, ha, and visarga, aha, are all pronounced in the throat. Then he says, ichu yashanam talu, talu means the palate, on the palate, top of the mouth, right? I, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya, which is our first semi-vowel, coming from I, ya, right? That is also a palatal. And also, we have an S there. That's the first S. That S has got an acute accent on it in the Sanskrit transliteration system. The S with the acute accent. So there's an S with acute accent. There's another S with a dot under it, right? All the letters with the dots under it, they're normally palatal, cerebral. They're normally murdanya or cerebral, or here they call it retroflex. Cerebral retroflex means the same thing. Okay, so when we get that, so we have three S's, these sibilants. So we have the S, first S is the S with the acute accent. Second one is the S with a dot under it. Third is the regular S with no marking on it, okay? So one is, the first one, first S is palatal. The second S is cerebral. And the third S is dental, okay? So we know how to pronounce the other letters in those places, so we know how to pronounce the S. So the S in which is palatal is like shankara. Shankara. What's happening there is my tongue is flat, because when we pronounce palatal letters, the tongue is flat, and the flat tongue shoots up flat towards the top of the mouth and then comes back down and lets the air out. Shankara, shankara, shankara. My tongue is flat. Shankara, shankara. When the tongue is flipped back and the tip of the tongue is going towards the top of the head, that is what we call retroflex or murdanya or cerebral. It's pointing towards our cerebellum, our mind, our head, cerebra, right? That is retroflex. So that S, the S with a dot under it, is pronounced shanmukha, shanmukha, shanmukha. So hear the difference? Shankara, shanmukha. Shankara is palatal. Shanmukha. So sh, flat tongue. Flip the tongue back, sh, 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 sh. Can you hear the difference? I'm trying to make it obvious. Sh, shankara. Sh, 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 shanmukha, shanmukha. Okay, and the third one is dental on the teeth. S, Saraswati, Saraswati. So to practice the S's correctly, you can remember these three words: Shankara, which means Shiva; Shanmukha, which is the son of Shiva, Subramanya Kartikeya, right? And Saraswati. So Shankara, Shanmukha, Saraswati. These are the three S's. So who thinks that they can do the three S's correctly? Unmute, let me hear it. Anybody? No? You have to unmute. I can't hear you unless you unmute.
Can you hear me?
Who's that?
Arjuna.
Arjuna, yes, go ahead. Do the sibilants. Or you can start with doing the semi-vowels because we didn't finish, right?
Was it, then ya, ra, la, wa.
Very good. But you say ya, ra, la, wa.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you know when to pronounce it as wa and when to pronounce it as va? I mean, do you say Vasudeva? Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Do you say Vasudevaya or do you say
No,
Vasudeva?
we say Vasudev.
Yeah. Okay. And when?
Because I'm from Nepal, and I think because my initial was that's where we as a primary that was your first thing I learned was Kaka Gha rather than ABCD.
Right.
So then we have slightly it's more of a Nepalese than going into Sanskrit.
Right. But normally, let me tell you the normal system. I don't know what it's like in Nepal, but normally if you get va, the letter va, by itself, right? It's pronounced va. If you get the letter va mixed with another consonant, like in the word swami, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear, people usually don't say swami. So there's a type of sandhi there between the S and the V. If you put the two consonants together, people say swami. They don't say swami. But if it was vamana, you wouldn't say wamana. Am I right? We don't say Vamanavatar, Vasudeva. We don't say that. We say Vamanavatar, Vasudeva, very pronounced V. But when it's mixed with another consonant, we pronounce it like a W. Swami. Some people may say Swami, but normally people say Swami. Because to avoid hiatus, to avoid a break between the consonants or between sounds, we change sometimes sounds change. This is just basic phonetics. When sometimes sounds change a little bit if we want to avoid hiatus or a break between the sounds. Okay, anyway. So, on the sibilants, right? The S's.
I have a question, Swami.
Yeah,
G.
Go ahead.
My question is regarding the R. Because in English speakers, usually you say like, for example, sutra, like sutra, yantra.
You're going to say in Spanish there's a rolled R, right? In Spanish there's a rolled R.
Yeah, in Spanish it's different. It's like sutra. So it's less with R, and it's more like r, sutra. How is it? How is it?
That's a good question. It's maybe above my grammatical pay grade. Okay. What we can do is I can ask my Sanskrit teacher in India, and I'll ask him what's the proper pronunciation of R. But, to know this, we should probably look at Panini and what Panini says for Sanskrit. Let's see. Rikrasya dantostam, danta and osta. Vakarasya dantostam. Let me look at Laghusiddhanta Comedy for a second here.
Because while you are searching for it, I was thinking that the that English speaker says, for me it's more like a guttural sound instead of like the retroflex. Brr.
Yeah.
Like for me, when you say, like, not you, like English speakers says, like,
I'm an English speaker.
Yeah, but you're very learned on it. But yeah, when they say like sutra, for me it's more like a guttural sound than the sutra, that it's more like a retroflex. Am I right?
Right. Well, okay. But you're correct. So because Panini says it's a retroflex, seems to say it's a retroflex. It's a retroflex sound. It's not guttural. It's retroflex. Yeah, it's what we call cerebral or murdanya. Let me see. I'm looking to see what place it is. Yeah. So in the book, yeah, it's because va is given two places on the lips and teeth, but danta oshtam, va is danta oshtam. Yeah, it's very interesting. We can I'll talk to my Sanskrit teacher and we'll see what he says. But you're right. You're absolutely right that ra is cerebral. It's a cerebral sound for sure.
Okay. And one last question regarding that, Swamiji, sorry.
Yeah.
It's also regarding the R letter, the
Yes.
Ra.
Yes.
How do you pronounce it in the beginning of a word? It's like Ra or it's like Ra?
I mean, I don't hear in India people using a real trilled R so much. I don't hear that. The first one is probably, yeah.
Like for example, in Rama, it will be like Rama or Rama.
You know, it may also depend upon what language your mother tongue is, because, for instance, in Tamil Nadu, right, they even write words that begin with R. They write with an initial I. So, for instance, the word Ramanuja. Ramanuja is a great acharya, but they write Ramanuja Iramanujaya.
Ramanuja.
Yeah. In fact, actually, they write Ramanusa. Ramanusa. Ramanusa is the way it's written. But they'll say Ramanuja, but Ramayana, Ranganatha.
Interesting. Wow, that's
a very Tamil way of pronunciation and spelling too. So it may depend upon the regional dialect, but normally correct Sanskrit ra to start something. It's not going to be it won't be trilled. It won't be this type of. We really have to talk to somebody who's an expert in phonetics to get it to get a proper understanding of this. So anyway.
Thank you.
Just getting back to the sibilants. Does anybody think they can pronounce the three S's? I'll do it for you again. One moment. Getting over a bit of a cold here. Shankara, 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 Shanmuka, 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 Saraswati, Saraswati. So anybody want to try the three S's? You can try those words, or you can try any words you like.
Sa, sha, sa. Does it make a...
Sha, sha, sa.
Sa.
Sha, sha, sa.
Sa.
Yes. That's very good. Okay, so now the thing is,
another thing I add is because see all my mantras I learn, not Krishna Yajurveda but Shukla Yajurveda.
Yes.
So then we say kha, like
ka. Yeah, that okay.
Like Sahasra Sir kha, it's not Sahasra Sir
sa. Sahasra Sir kha Purukaha Sahasra Kshaha Sahasra Patu. Right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also learned that for my first time. Okay, so that is a particular Vedic chanting according to Shukla Yajurveda Madhyandina, right? Vajrasana Samhita, right? That's a particular thing that's in the Shukla Yajurveda Padishakya. The Padishakya is the book, the Vedic book that teaches you how to chant the different branches of the Vedas. So in that particular branch, the letter K, the letter KH, ka, that aspirated ka, is substituted whenever we see an S with a dot under it. So if you're learning, as you probably have learned Shukla Yajurveda, right? You know that whenever you see the S with a dot under it, you see that Murdanya S or Sha. Whenever other people are saying Sha, the Shukla Yajurvedis are saying Ka, right? Correct?
Yes, that's what it is.
But
yes.
that's particular only for Vedic mantras and only for Shukla Yajurveda, Madhyandini Shaka. And yesterday in my class, I mentioned that Shukla Yajurveda comes in two flavors. There may be more flavors, or schools or branches. In Sanskrit we call sakas, right? Branches.
Yeah.
One is more in North India, the Madhyandina, right? Vajrasena Samhita, Madhyandina. And the other one is more in South India called the Kanva school. So the Kanva school so the Pratishakya is the book to read, to know how to do that Vedic chanting of that. Just like, so yesterday I was also mentioning that Purusha Sukta is a mantra to Lord Narayana, which is there in all the Vedas, in Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda. It's in Shukla Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda. Yesterday I explained why there's two different Yajurvedas. Yeah, it has to do with whether the Brahmana and the Samhita are mixed or separate, right? And there's a story about one rishi who vomited the Veda and the birds ate the vomit and all that sort of stuff. You can have a look on the other class. Anyway, so we're getting to the end of the alphabet here. So we have those three S's or sibilants, right? So what are we doing? So again, starting off with it's very it's not like other alphabets which are all jumbled up, but they're all in a specific order. Vowels first, then consonants, with the Anushwara and Visarga in between, then the consonants, then the semivowels, then the sibilants, and the very last one is just air. What is called the aspirate in English, or just air, which is ha. Open your mouth and just breathe out ha. Right? That's the last letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Right? Now, sometimes in Sanskrit, they'll put some other letters after that. Sha, tra, gya. They'll put some other letters behind, but they're really conjunct letters. They're conjuncts that are put together, which are very common, like KS with a dot, sha in Kshatriya or whatever, tra like in mantra, or we have nya like in jnana, J, N with a tilde, right? Okay, so these are not really separate letters, but sometimes in nyasas and in other things we use them as separate letters. It's possible. But normally we just have those 51 or 52 letters, right? So they come in that order. So first of all the vowels, then the Visarga and Anushwara, then Anushwara and Visarga, then the gutturals, palatals, cerebrals, dentals, and labials, and then we get the semivowels, sibilants, and the aspirate, the H. Okay? All right, so that's the Sanskrit alphabet. So from beginning to end, we've got a, I, u, rit, ri, a, I, o, ow, in North India, or in South India, aha, Visarga, Anushwara Visarga, then the gutturals, ka, ga, nga, then the palatals, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, then the cerebrals, tra, ta, da, da, ra, then the dentals, ta, ta, da, da, na, then the palatals, pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. Then we get the semivowels, ya, ra, la, va. And sometimes it's pronounced wa. Okay? Then ha. That's it. Is there anything else? There is something else. If we're going to talk about Vedic mantras, there's something else, okay? So we also have two other things called Jihwamuliya and Upadmaniya. Who's heard of that? Anybody? Okay. So when a visarga means an H with a dot under it, when that comes before, in the next word even, if it comes before a pa or a pa, it's called Upadmaniya. And it's pronounced like fa, like F, right? Yeah, you please go do your Sandhyavandana. Very nice. Okay. Swami's going to do Sandhyavandanam. Evening Sandhyavandanam. Okay, so now, yeah.
Sorry, before, it's which letter before Visarga?
No, after Visarga.
After.
Yeah, so Visarga followed by Pa or Pa, the two P's, P and PH. See, now, another thing, okay, a lot of you are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, so you probably have also heard Bengalis chanting Sanskrit, right? Yeah. For instance, you know, I went to Bengal many years ago. I was studying about puja from one man called Damodar Maharaj, who was a direct disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta's. He was Bhaktisiddhanta's head pujari at the Yogapeeth for many years. So he was the head pujari of Yogapeeth under Bhaktisiddhanta. So he told me some mantras. Bhaktisiddhanta told me these mantras. I'm telling you directly from Bhaktisiddhanta to you, from me, through me, right? So, and you can hear sometimes also with Prabhupada's pronunciation, you hear some Bengali pronunciation of Sanskrit. It's a little different than the pure Hindi type pronunciation of Sanskrit, or even the South Indian pronunciation. So he said, for instance, there's a mantra, Shrim, Shrom, Lakshmi, Nrsimhabhyam, Namaha is a mantra, okay? But the Bengalis will say, they'll say, Sing, Chong, Loki, Nrsimha, Bang, Namaha. That's what it sounds like. In Bengal, like you hear Prabhupada, sometimes Prabhupada say, Kshatriya, he's a Kshatriya. Parikshit Maharaj, he was a Kshatriya. Parikshit was a Kshatriya, because Bengalis, what they tend to do is when you have a conjunct consonant, you have two consonants together, they drop out part of it. Right? So for instance, Chaitanya is the Sanskrit. In Bengali, they'll change the AI, becomes pronounced oi, not I, oi. And the NYA, the nya, they drop the Y, just like they drop the S with a dot from Parikshit or from Kshatriya. So we'll say Sanskrit, Chaitanya, but a Bengali will say Choitonno. Choitonno. The A becomes O. The I becomes Oi. The Nya becomes N. Choitonno. 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 Okay, so there's regional pronunciations of Sanskrit, right? If you go to China, they're going Halilama, Halilama. You know, they don't know how to pronounce R even. Okay, so we shouldn't worry too much. Okay, if we have a problem because of our native language that we can't actually pronounce. Many pundits in Tamil Nadu, where I'm living in Tamil Nadu a lot of the time, I can tell you the Tamil-speaking pundits, when they try to speak Sanskrit, they mix up all the S's. Yesterday, I heard somebody say, instead of Rukma, they said Rugma. There's not enough letters in Tamil. There's only 25 letters in Tamil, and half of them are L's and N's, okay? So there's no difference between ka, ka, ga, ga. There's only one letter. Cha, cha, ja, ja. There's only one letter. And that letter is the same for S also. So when you go into a restaurant in Tamil Nadu and you ask for a chapati, they have no idea what you're talking about. Sapati. Or sabati. Could be a sabati. To them, pati, bati, same thing to them. It's the same letter for them. They have no concept. So when you hear the pundits, Tamil pundits are the worst at Sanskrit pronunciation. The Tamil alphabet just doesn't have the thing. That's why we normally see the Devanagari script is used all over India. And actually people use their own scripts all over India for Sanskrit. And we use the Roman script because we're accustomed to using Roman letters. So we just put a few dots and dashes to make the different letters, right? But in South India, in Tamil Nadu, they had to make a whole new script for them to read proper Sanskrit. And that's called Grantha script. And if anybody wants to learn it, I can teach it to you, right? I'll give you a font for your computer, and there are still books being printed in it, and no Tamil knows it, but the pundits know it. And there are ancient manuscripts in it. So if you want to read those manuscripts, and there are books that are printed in it, ancient books. If you want to read those books, you have to know that script. Okay, so there's many, many scripts. Even the scripts of the other Southeast Asian countries are all coming from Sanskrit script. But that's a whole other discussion. We won't get into that right now. We were talking about two other things which come in the alphabet, which are Upadmaniya and Jihvamuliya. So let's get back to that. So when you get a Visarga followed by P or PH, it's pronounced like an F. So for instance, the reason I got onto the Bengalis is because the Bengalis pronounce PHA, they'll say pa, right? So instead of saying paka, they'll say faka. Excuse me. Paka. Paka means unripe. Or no, ripe, it means ripe. Kacha means unripe. Paka means ripe in Hindi, or maybe in Bengali also, like that. But instead of saying pa, they say fa. Because I used to have a friend, excuse me?
Is it fat, om sahasrara, om pat, or fat?
There, Swami is bringing in a mantra here. We have a mantra. These are words. There are different little words which don't actually mean a whole lot, but they come they're put at the end of mantras. In Mantra Shastra, to end a mantra, there are certain words. What are those words? Namaha, Swaha, Namaha, Swaha, Vasate, Vosate, Swaha, Sikai Vasate, Kavachaya Hum, Netrabhyam Voshate, Astraya Pate. Okay, so Swami's asking about pate, right? Pate, right? Now, yesterday I mentioned in the class that when you get a consonant at the end of a word coming before a dunda or a double dunda, like T, especially T. When T ends a word, in Bengali they have a different letter for the T that ends a word. When a T comes at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence, it's one letter. When a T ends a word in Bengali, it's a different letter. And that T is pronounced te. It's pronounced te, a short E, very short. It's like an echo of an E. And that's just to show that there isn't another vowel after it. So te, pate, right? But put is pa, P-H-A, pa. Now, some people may say fa, fate. Or some people might say even fut. They don't even say the E at the end because it's not there. It's understood by people who know more about pronunciation. But so somebody might just read it and they think PH is fa, and they say fut. You know, they'll say some mantra. Mahastraya fut. Make it sound really like it's astraya. It's a weapon, right? Mahastraya fut. Like that, especially Bengalis, right? Because they use fut. But actually that F sound comes as what we call upadmaniya. right? Upadmaniya. Now, this is not just Vedic Sanskrit, it's also in classical Sanskrit, okay? So in all Sanskrit. So for instance, we have the invocation to Isopanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam, right? Purnamadaha Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnamadaha Purnamidam. So Purnamadaha ends in Visarga, aha, and Purnamidam. But there's no danda, there's no break, there's no comma, there's no breath there. So you have to join them together. So when you join them together, the Visarga with the dot under it at the end of Adaha, before Purnamidam, becomes translated, it sounds like fa, but very short fa. So Purnamadaf, Purnamidam, Purnamadaf, Purnamidam. That's how it's pronounced. Got it? That's Upadmaniya. And guess what? It has its own symbol. It has its own symbol in English. When we write, if I write a mantra and I write Purnamadap Purnamidam, the Visarga at the end of Adaha, right? Instead of a dot underneath it, it'll have a little half moon underneath it to show that it's pronounced fa. That is Upadmaniya. It has a different, if you look in ancient Vedic texts and things like that, they also have a different symbol, but we won't go into that. It has a different symbol in different scripts, but in English script, because we're going to be using mostly Roman script. So in Roman script, an H with a little moon underneath it is fa. There's another one, Jihwa Muliya. Jihwa Muliya, Upadmaniya is also, I believe it comes in the labials, right? In the gutturals, there's another one called, which is like X. It's like X. You didn't know there was F and X in Sanskrit, but there's an X. It's like the CH in the Scottish word lock. Now I'm trying to think of an example, but if you get a Visarga with a dot and you have a K or a KH following it, it's pronounced like the CH in lock. And they might talk about it here, something like that. That is called Jihwa Muliya. Jihwa means tongue. Muliya means the root of the tongue. So it's guttural. It's a guttural thing. The root of the tongue's back in the back of the throat, right? Okay?
Is that like Lakshman?
Lakshman. No, why?
No.
Because Lakshman, you have a K, L-A-K, S with a dot, M-A-N-A, right? Lakshmana.
Okay.
Yeah, Lakshman in Hindi. Lakshmana. In Hindi is like French. They drop the last, instead of Arjun, instead of Arjuna. Okay? So Lakshman instead of Lakshmana. So Lakshman doesn't have a Visarga in it. So there wouldn't be a Jihwa Muliya. These Upadmaniya and Jihwa Muliya are types of Visarga. They're types of the H with a dot under it. The Upadmaniya, which is pronounced like the F, has a little moon underneath it. And the Jihwa Muliya, and it's pronounced as F, and the one that's pronounced like X, or the CH in the Scottish word lock. The Germans might be able to pronounce it better than me. There's a German letter for this too, right? It's not really there in English. Okay, and that is written as an H with a bar underneath it. A bar underneath it, like a horizontal bar underneath it. Okay. So Jihwa Muliya, Upadmaniya, these are two other things. Normally, it's only people who are into Vedic Sanskrit who notice these things, but they can be there, and it's possible for them to be in classical Sanskrit also. So I think we covered the range of sounds pretty much. There might be some other sounds. Now, specific to each Veda, as Arjuna was saying a little bit before, specific to each Veda, there are some differences in sounds. So he was saying in Shukla Yajurveda, when you see the S with a dot under it, you pronounce it as K-H-A, ka. So Sahasra Sirika, Purukaha, right? Sahasra, instead of Sahasra Sirsha, Sahasra Sirika, okay? But that's Shukla Yajurveda. We are interested more in Krishna Yajurveda. In Krishna Yajurveda, we say the letters just as they are. There is, however, one more thing that we can talk about, which is the ranga, which there's some other name for it. When an Anushwara is followed by a sibilant or a refa or a the exact rule I have to get for you guys, but in some cases when it'll be discussed in this pronunciation guide, when an Anushwara is followed by some letters, mostly it's when it's followed by these S's, and also sometimes R, maybe H also, I'm not sure. It's pronounced as gum or gum. Purusha e veda gum sarvam. Right? If you read it, the Sanskrit, it'll be Purusha e vedam sarvam. Why does that e vedam become e veda gum? Because there's a rule in the Krishna Yajurveda pronunciation that Anushwara gets pronounced as gum. And it's really, some people transliterate it as GAM or GUM, but best is probably just GM, gum, gum. Purusha e veda gum sarvam. Yeah. So that is called a ranga, or there's some other words for it too. Yeah. Swami, Devarishi, you got a question about that?
The normal I used to see is GM. There's dots on top of the M.
Yeah, but there's always a dot on top of that M. That's an Anushwara. An M with a dot on the top or underneath is called Anushwara. That's a normal letter. The Anushwara represents any of the other nasals depending on what letter it comes close to. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to ask Swamiji, because it's not about the Anuswara Sandhi, as to say, right? This is a special particularity of the Visarga in the Anuswara, sorry, in the Krishna Yajurveda, the GM. It's not a Sandhi, right?
No, not a Sandhi. Not a Sandhi.
Right.
Hang on a second. My wife is saying something. Oh, she's just on the phone. That's all. Okay, so no, it's not a Sandhi. It's a particular part of the pronunciation. So you might get Purusha Shukta in another Veda, and it might say Purusha e Vedam Sarvam, or they might get a gum in a different place, because there's a different rule in a different branch of a different Veda. So we have to learn the rules for the branch of the Veda that we're chanting. We don't have to learn the rules for other people's branches, unless you want to learn all the rules. Which you first of all learn the rules for your branch, and then if you want to learn other rules, you can. So no, it's not a Sandhi. It's not a Sandhi. It's just a part of the Pradishakya. Now, Sandhis, because of the way. Because before they had typesetting, and they used to print books in Devanagari in Sanskrit. So sometimes to make a word shorter, they'll take a nasal like nga, nya, ra, na, right? Those 4 nasals, right? Or even ma, right? They'll take those 5 nasal letters and substitute Anushwara for them. Anushwara is the M with the dot, either above or below. Actually, in Prabhupada's books, they put the dot above, but in the actual International Association for Sanskrit Transliteration System, they normally put the dot underneath. But it doesn't matter. Dot above, dot below means the same thing. It's Anushwara. That is not to be confused with a regular M, Makara. Right? Anushwara is not Makara. Makara is a letter which is only pronounced on the lips. Anushwara can be pronounced anywhere according to the place where the letters around it are pronounced.
I have a question regarding that, Swamiji. It's regarding, exactly that. The Sandhi of the Anuswara. As you said, for example, if the Anuswara goes for a palatal, then the Anuswara, it's pronounced palatally, right? So it's like that in each segment.
Yes.
What about the bijas? For example, Klim Chaitanyaya. So if I get that Sandhi, I should pronounce it as Klim Chaitanyaya, right? Is that correct?
It's possible if you're doing it very quick. It's possible, but like I said, the Anushwara is normally pronounced like the guttural nasal ng in North India, and normally it's pronounced like M makara, the palatal nasal. Sorry, the labial nasal in South India. So normally we have Narasingha and Narasimha in South India. So normally with bija mantras, a bija, the word bija means seed. The seed of a mantra is when we take the first akshara or the first syllable of the mantra, when we add anushwara to it, that makes this, that is the seed. That's the seed. So for instance, we have the word Rama. We have the name Rama. So the bija for Rama should be Ram. R long A with the Anushwar, Ram. But in North India, they might say wrong. They might say wrong. I prefer to be consistent and pronounce it as M. The Anushwar as M. That's just my preference. So maybe you're saying clean, maybe you're saying clean, or maybe you're saying clean. That's up to you. Don't worry about, don't worry about that we can ask, I'll ask my Sanskrit teacher, but don't worry about any sandhi that might be there between a bija mantra and the next word. Okay. I'll ask him, but it won't be wrong. It won't be wrong to do sandhi there.
Because I was thinking in your example of Narasimha, because you have the Anuswara, then it's followed by an H, which is guttural.
Yes.
So it will be, the Anuswara will be pronounced as like guttural, right?
Which is why they do that in North India, correct?
Like Simhasana.
Yeah.
But that will follow also in the other kind of sounds, for example, the dental. So that's what for example, you have
I think what you're saying is absolutely right. You can do that. You can definitely do that in order to avoid hiatus. Yes, sandhi is possible. At the same time, there is a grammatical rule, which I'll ask my teacher about, that there is no sandhi with om.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
There's no sandhi with om. So if there's no sandhi with om, you have to pronounce it separately. That means I would extrapolate that to say if there's no sandhi with om, there should not be any sandhi with any bij mantra, because every bij mantra is like om.
Acha.
All the other bijas are just expansions of om. All right.
Yeah. Good.
Just my feeling, but we need to talk to a real grammarian to understand. But I think it's not wrong. I don't say it's wrong to make, for instance, when I type out prayogas and I'm doing namavali, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, right? So I'll write O, M with a dot, above or below, Keshavaya Namaha, right? But when I come to Anirudhaya Namaha, it's beginning with an A. So O, M with a dot, and then an A. But in Sanskrit, if I write that, if I put those words together, the M will stop being an Anushwara and it will become an M. Because Anushwara sandhi, actually in grammar, is a sandhi of ma. When ma is followed by a consonant, right, it becomes Anushwara. When ma is followed by a vowel, it stays ma. This is a very simple Sandhi. Everybody knows that. Sometimes you'll see at the end of a line, you'll see an M at the end of a word, and then there'll be a danda. If there's a danda, then there's no Sandhi beyond the danda. The danda is a break. So there's no Sandhi between that word and the next word in the beginning of the next line. So if the line ends in an M, they put a virama or halanta. You know what a halanta virama is?
Yes.
It's a little tail, a little marking to show that there is no vowel. That there's no vowel. There's no inherent So they put that there. Now they could just put, sometimes when they're lazy, they just take the whole ma out and they put a dot. They put the anushwara up there. But that's laziness. That's laziness. Correctly should be the M with the virama or halanta. Yeah? If, however, we take out the danda and connect it to the next word, if it begins with a vowel, it'll just connect. If it begins with a consonant, then it'll make it into an anushwara. I think this is beyond people who don't know Devanagari script. This may be beyond you, okay? But if anybody wants to learn Devanagari or any other Indian script, we can explain how these things work and what Sandhi is exactly. For chanting mantras, you do need to know a little bit about Sandhi and a little bit about how to break Sandhi and make Sandhi. It's especially when you get to making sankalpas, because you need to create certain mantras and things like that. You're talking about doing nyasas and things. So in nyasas, you may have to change the bija mantra. So for instance, with Agni, the Agni bij is Ram, not Ram. Ram is a Rama bij. Ram, long A. But Ram, short A. Not the drink, short A. Ram, not, right? Ram. So Ram is for Agni, Agni bij. So maybe when you're doing some fire ceremony or something, you're going to rum, rim, rum, rum. You're adding you're making different bij mantras for the nyasa from the beginning letter, which is Ra. And Ra, by the way, in Sanskrit is a different letter in the sense that all the other letters we say akara, ukara, makara, pakara, right? Kara means a sign. And we say, we like in English, I'll say the letter A, the letter B, the letter C. In Sanskrit, we'll say akara, bakara, makara, right? Kara means a sign, just like we had yesterday. I explained the word swastikara, right? We had somebody from Germany on, and I explained what swastikara means. Swastikara means auspicious sign. Maybe not in Germany, but anyway, everywhere else it's this auspicious sign. And there's kara means hand, and it means a sign. So when we want to make a sign or a mudra, we use our hands. So sign and hand is the same word in Sanskrit. Swastikara. So same thing for a letter, a written letter which represents a sound coming out of our mouth is a sign for that sound. So it's called akara, ukara, makara. But when we come to, we don't say in Sanskrit rakara for R. Nobody says rakara. They have a special name for it, refa or repa. Excuse me, I made a mistake and said fa instead of pa. Repa, R-E-P-H-A, repa. Repa means the letter R in Sanskrit. It has some special meaning. Okay, so anyway, that's for Sanskrit grammarians. Anyway, getting beyond that, so Ra. We got pretty much everything now. We've got the gung. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to be able to put put letters together. Oh, by the way, I wanted to explain also, because you mentioned about clean bij. So why is clean bij for Krishna? It should be cream bij. Should be cream, right? Krishna, we should take the first syllable, kri, and add anushwar, cream. So there's some rule that Ri and Ri can be interchanged. So somehow or other, Klim is a bij for Kali, also a bij for Krishna. It's called Kama bij. Kama bij. Okay, so there are also different bij mantras that have different things. For instance, Agni bij is Ram. Kama bij is Klim. You know, we have Kopa bij, anger bij, Shrom. For Narasimha, we've got Narasimha appearance coming up. Shrom, K-S.A-R-A-U-M. Shrom. Shreem.
What about Lakshmi?
Shreem. Shreem. Right? S with an acute accent, R, long I, M with a dot. Shreem. Shreem is Lakshmi Bij, Shri Bij. What about I'm? Or as the Bengalis say, Oing.
Saraswati.
Saraswati. I'm is Saraswati Bij for knowledge. Why do we use I'm with Guru, with the Guru Gayatri and Guru Mantra? Because Guru Devaya Vidmahe, Jnananandaya Dhimahi, Tanno Guru Prachodayat. Right? By the way, remember that we have this Upadmaniya in practically all the Gayatris. All Gayatri mantras. Prachodayat. Prachodayat begins with P. Vishnuf Prachodayat. Guruf Prachodayat. Guruf Prachodayat. Guruf Prachodayat. So we get Upadmaniya there. Okay. So
Please,
I'm what? Who knows some? Okay, there's another one. Maya Bij. Who knows Maya Bij? What is Maya Bij? Hreem. Hreem Bhuvaneshwaraya Namaha. H-R, long I, M with a dot. Hreem. That is Shakti or Maya Bij. There are some Bijas which are famous, and there are some Bijas which are just made up from the first syllable of the mantra. Right? Ram, Ramaya Namaha. You know, Neem, Nilaye Namaha. You know, just made up from the Pram Prahladaya Namaha. That's one I made up. Okay? Pram Prahladaya Namaha. They use in Germany into Narasimha temple there. It's and it is explained in Hari Bhakti Vilas. You know, here's a lesson from Hari Bhakti Vilas. Hari Bhakti Vilas says, if you want to worship some deity, you simply take the name of the deity, put it in the dative case. Who here knows what dative case means? Yeah, you know. Vishwanath knows. Okay, it means it's called Chaturthi Vibhakti in Sanskrit, and it means unto that person or for that person. So to Krishna or for Krishna, for the benefit of Krishna, right? So when I say Krishnaya Namaha, that Aya at the end of Krishna is the singular dative case ending. Krishnaya Namaha. What does Namaha mean? Na means not. Ma means me. Not me, you. Not for me, for you. Just like when we do a fire sacrifice, we also say, Indraya Svaha, Indraya Dannama. This is for Indra, not for me. Idam, this, na mama, not for is Indraya, for Indra. Idam, this is not for me. Indraya, idam namama. Right? Indraya Svaha, Indraya idam namama. Right? Okay, so namaha means not me. So when we see somebody and we say namaste, namaha, namahate. Namaste is namahate. Namaha means Sanskrit people will meet each other, they'll say namo namaha. My obeisances to you. Namo namaha means namaha namaha. It's double namaha. You can say namo namo namaha, right? Say it 3 times. When this H with a dot under it, aha, is followed by a soft letter, another soft letter, then the sandhi makes it turn into an O. So namo namaha. I explained a little bit about sandhi in the last lesson. For instance, sandhi means when 2 words come together and it makes it easier to chant them together. So for instance, Isha means the Lord. Upanishad means a teaching to somebody who's sitting close to you. right? So the Isha Upanishad is an Upanishad. It's the number one Upanishad. But together, we put it together, instead of saying Isha Upanishad with a break in between, we put it together and say Ishopanishad. Isha, A and O, A and U become O, right? Isha Upanishad, Ishopanishad. That's called Sandhi. Sandhi means the connection between two things, where it's connected. Just like we do our Gayatri Japa at different Sandhyas. In the morning, when the sun is coming up, it's the end of the night, the beginning of the day. So it's the confluence of the night and the day. So that's one Sandhi. Another Sandhi is forenoon, afternoon. At noon, the meeting of the forenoon and the afternoon. That's another time to do Sandhya. And another time to do Sandhya is in the night. The afternoon meets the night, the evening. That's another Sandhya. Okay, so what we do is we do these Sandhyas are places of joining, like that. There's also, I mentioned in the other class yesterday, that there's also at night, before midnight and after midnight, there's also a Sandhya, but it's usually only people who are doing prayers at that time, are usually only Shaktas and Tantrics and things, people like that. So, okay. So getting back to it, we have this Namo Namaha. We'll say Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. So Om is the pranava, and it's a Bij mantra. So Om, Hrim, Shrim, Hlim, Klim, Aim, whatever it is, like that. There's no real sandhi between that and the next word. Then we have the name of the deity in the dative case, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Gopijana Vallabhaya, whatever, right, with the Aya. Usually, if it's masculine, it has Aya at the end. And then Namaha at the end. And this is normally what we have. So when we put Tilak on, for instance, we do the Dwarasa namas, or 12 names. Dwarasa means 12. Dwa means 2. Das means 10. Put them together, you get 12. So we have Keshavaya Namaha, Narayana Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha. So Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha. Like this. Up to Om Padmanabhaya Namaha. Om Damaduraya Namaha. And some people do Om Vasudevaya Namaha on the top of the head, Paravasudeva. So, yes, so Bij mantras are very important because the Bij has the seed, is the seed of the mantra. So normally when people in Mantra Shastra, what happens is that people want to learn mantras. So they go to the Guru and the Guru says, okay, I'll start you with an easy one. And he gives them the Bij. He gives them, first of all, the seed. And they learn, they do Puruscharana. They get siddhi and perfection of that seed. They're very small mantra. And then the Guru will give them a longer mantra. And normally, in the general system in Mantra Shastra is that you need to do Puruscharana, which means you have to do Homa, Tarpana, Puja, feeding Brahmins, and Homa, Japa, and Japa of the mantra a certain number of times. And normally the Japa, of course, which is the most important part of it, but the Japa is done 100,000 times the number of syllables in the mantra. So if you get a very simple mantra, which is just like a Bij mantra like Om, you have to chant it 100,000 times. Then you have to do 1/10 of that, you have to do homas, oblations. 1/10 of that, you have to do tarpanas. 1/10 of the homas, you have to do tarpanas, right? 1/10 of that, you have to feed brahmanas, right? That's called Puruscharana. That's described in Hari Bhakti Vilas. If we want to discuss that system of Puruscharana, we can. If people are interested in that, we can do that. That is normally done. What happens is a person takes a diksha in a mantra. After he takes diksha in a mantra, the Guru explains to him how to chant the mantra with all the japangas. This was being asked yesterday. Japangas means achamana pranayam sankalpa. Then we do nyasa, karanyasa, anganyasa, dhyana, and maybe digbandha, digvimokaha. There's some other things which are done by smartas. Vaishnavas, some Vaishnavas will do some other things. And then basically, then the mantra japa. after the mantra japa is finished, you might finish also with Achmana. Smart is finished with Achmana. And there might be this Digvimokaha, breaking the force field around you, whatever it is. And then even Pancha Puja, there's a thing called Pancha Puja, which is done sometimes, which is an abbreviated puja for the mantra, right? There's also very complex ways of doing mantra puja, for doing puja of the mantra mentally, or even more complicated, doing puja of each letter of the mantra. Or even more complicated than that, even before you start, you have to do this Matrikanyasa, which means you have to worship Saraswati to get the permission to chant the letters that make up the words. Because unless you get the blessing of Saraswati, you can't pronounce the letters properly, and therefore you can't go to the, this is there in Hari Bhakti Vilas and in some other mantra shastras. Very complicated way of doing japa. So once you know that, after you get initiated in the mantra, then the guru will teach you all those things. He'll teach you how to do that. Then you have to go and you do Purascharana. Purascharana is what I described. You have to do the japa and the homa and the tarpana, right? And then you're supposed to get siddhi of the mantra, perfection of the mantra, right? So that's why people start off with a very short mantra, like Omkara or just the Bija mantra, and they work into longer mantras, like that. So you'll have longer mantras. First of all, the next longest mantra will, so the shortest mantra will be a Bij mantra. Then there'll be a Mula mantra, which is a root mantra for a particular deity. Then there'll be a Gayatri mantra, which will be longer than the Mula mantra. Normally, Gayatri mantra will be three sets of 8 syllables, 3 lines of 8 syllables each, which is the Gayatri mantra, 24 syllables. Then then there are different numbers of mantras. There's Astakshara, 8 syllable, Dwadasakshara, 12 syllable, Astadasakshara, 18 syllable. There might be other numbers of syllables. Then you get to slow actual verses like Anustup, which is a sloka, like Narasimha Anustup, Ugram Vira Mahavishnam Dranzam Savitomakam. That is a verse. And then beyond that, mantras are usually, beyond that, you get even longer mantras like what are called mala mantras. Mala mantra will be 108 syllables, like a mala. Mala's got 108 beads, so mala mantra will be 108 syllables. Then you might even have 1,008 syllable mantras. There's a 1,008 syllable Narasimha mantra in Narada Purana, I believe. Anyway, so, but the problem is, imagine if you have a 1,008 syllable mantra, imagine how many times you have to do japa of it to get perfection. Who knows? Who can tell me how how many times you are supposed to, in Shastra, chant Hare Krishna mantra? Hare Krishna is a mantra, right? Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. How many times you have to chant that to get perfection? Who knows? According to Shastra. Anybody know?
1 million.
Huh? No guessing. No guessing. No guessing. No guessing. Okay, so what does it say in Kali Shantaranya Upanishad? I think it says 32 million times, no? I think so. We can look in Kali Shantaranya Upanishad sometime, but I think it says 32 million times. Not 32 million names. 32 million times the whole mantra. 32 million times 16 names. That'll be the number of names. And you can work it out. It probably works out at about 50 years of 64 rounds a day or something. Something like that. Whatever it is.
35 millions times.
35 million. 35 million. Excuse me. Thank you. 35 million. 35 3.5 lakhs or what? 3.5 crore. 3.5 crore. 35 million. 35 million times the whole mantra is said in Kali Shantaranya Upanishad. Yeah, you can figure it out. You can figure out how many years that's going to take you if you do a certain number of japa every day. It's quite a lot. So the general rule is 100,000 times the number of syllables, but there are some exceptions like that one. Yeah, go ahead. Who's talking?
So I was asking if you are not able to perfect your life this lifetime, you have to come and continue that mantra.
I mean, you can, what does it say? And what does it say in Chaitanya Charamrita? It says, Bahu Jambakariyadi Shravana Kirtana Tabutana Paya Krishna Padi Premadana. You can chant for many millions of lifetimes and you won't get Krishna Prema if you've committed offenses and whatever it is. So it's not guaranteed that just chanting 35 million times that you'll get siddhi of Hare Krishna mantra. But the recommendation in Kalishantra and Upanishad is to chant 35 million times. That's all. So it's not recommend, maybe you chant it one time and maybe you come perfect by chanting it one time. Or maybe you need to chant more than 35 million times. We don't know. It depends upon how you chant it and your purity, no? Okay, so we can't necessarily say, these are just general guidelines in Mantra Shastra. In Shastra, sometimes it will say you have to chant this mantra so many times in Purascharana, to do Purascharana of it. But sometimes it won't. Yeah. Oh, I was just looking at the chat there. Vishwanath says people say kapha instead of kapha. Yes, they do. People say that. What can we say? People say a lot of things. We are trying to figure out what is the correct pronunciation. We're not concerned with what people say. According to the rules, there are rules of pronunciation. We want to follow those rules. That's all. Okay, so I think we've gone another 2 hours now probably, so it may be enough. And anybody has any final questions, we might want to wrap it up for today. And
Swamiji,
and you can submit ideas for discussion for other times, and we can discuss other things. Yeah, go ahead, Devrishi, go ahead.
Tomorrow is Nishingadev appearance day, and we are doing a Homa, Nishinga Abhishek. We do Abhishek Homa. So, what is your suggestion?
What is my suggestion? My suggestion is you do what you can do. Whatever you know how to do, you do. If you don't know how to do something, don't do it. So if you know, but specifically for Narasimha, in Narasimha Tapani Upanishad, there's a mantra called Pratyanga mantra. Okay. If possible, you can do Pratyanga mantra, because Pratyanga mantra, what does Pratyanga mantra mean? It means if you chant that mantra, Narasimha will appear before you.
Wow.
I wrote it out one time. There's a prayoga for it. I wrote it out. It takes a few hours. It takes a few hours to chant it fully.
Oh. Wow.
Quite complicated.
Oh. I've not reached that level.
Huh? Maybe I'll post it. I may post it. I'll try to find it if I have it, and I'll try to post it before tomorrow. This is called Pratyanga mantra. In Ram Tapani Upanishad, there's also a Pratyanga mantra for Rama also. But for Narasimha, it's called Pratyanga. But it's very long. First of all, there's 32 mantras, and they have to be chanted 32 different ways, 32 times.
What is your favorite food?
With syllables, using Bij mantras from the syllables made up of the Narasimha Anustup mantra. So, for instance, Ugram Viram, right? So the first Bij mantra is Om. Second one is Om Gram. Got it? Gram. Om Vim. Om Shnam, right? So you have to say Om, Yoha Vainasimho Deva Bhagavan, whatever it is, and there's a mantra, you know, and then you have to go Om Gram, Om Hrim. I have a audio of one Narasimha Bhakta chanting it, but he doesn't chant the full thing. But if you want to chant the full thing, I did it a few times. I think it takes a few hours to do. Pratyanga mantra. Otherwise, you can do simple. Chant Shrom or chant Ugram Vira Mahavishnu or chant Narasimha Gayatri. Any Narasimha, any prayer to Narasimha. There are so many prayers to Narasimha. So you can pray to Narasimha. Huh?
This Om Namo Bhagavate Mas Om Namo Bhagavate Nisimhaya Namaste Tejas Avir Bhava. That one.
Yeah, this is from Bhagavatam. So for Gaudiya's, Bhagavatam is the best thing. So you chant that. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Tejase Avir Bhava Vajjanaka Vajjidam Strakka Sayan Randaya Tamugrasa Gasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Shom. That's how they chant it.
What is the favorite food of Singadev?
Huh? What is the what?
Favorite prasad or boba for Singadev?
You asked this question. What's the favorite prasad of Lord Narasimha? All Narasimha temples, they make panakam. Panakam. So panakam is what? What is panakam? It's a drink.
Just.
Huh? Yeah, you know. It's
Fruit juice?
Fruit juice? No, it's not fruit juice. It's you get this sugar, this brown sugar, this sugarcane, solidified sugarcane juice. They make it like a Mexican sugar, or in India it's called gur or jaggery. Okay, it's a type of unrefined sugar, and you put it in water, and then people add different things to it. They add black pepper. Yeah. Black pepper, some people add ginger. But black pepper. Huh?
We have jaggery. We have jaggery.
You have jaggery, okay. So make a drink of jaggery, a jaggery drink with black pepper. That's Narasimha likes it. He likes it warm.
Okay.
Not cold. Yeah. That's you can offer it to other deities also, but that's what he likes to drink. If you have diabetes, it'll kill you probably. So Narasimha, there's so many things you can do for Narasimha. So many things. So I also, Vishwanath, I think, asked about nyasas and different things. So I'm going to see if I had before posted some different nyasa, the system for Gopal Mantra Nyasa for Gaudiyas, preliminaries, including Matrika Nyasa and including all the different nyasas, Keshavadi Nyasa and all these things. So if I find it, I'll post it on WhatsApp, and people can have that. And if you want, we can go through it like that. But I think it's too much for today. So have a wonderful Narasimha Chaturdasi, and whenever we see you again, we'll see you again.